Hey, I'm just going to wait for a couple people to kind of jump on, but I hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday. It's about midday Wednesday for me. And I wanted to share with you guys kind of a message that I just kind of jotted down on my lunch break, essentially. I just kind of pulled over because I've had a lot of conversations recently about fear about joining the academy, fear about working with myself, fear about just having fear in general, and being scared about, making a leap of faith, fear in taking advantage of an opportunity. And so I want to talk really quickly, essentially, about fear. I'm not going to talk too long because I know that everyone's trying to finish up the month, myself included. I need to get back to the office too. But I want to share with you guys really quickly a message, essentially, about fear. And I kind of put these thoughts together. But President Roosevelt, as you guys probably already aware, he had mentioned that, the only thing to fear is fear itself. So, hey, Kevin, I can see you on here. LC, it looks like we've got Aaron on here, and Francisco. Francisco, I'm looking to have a conversation with you. If you can reach out to me, I'd love to connect with you and continue to keep the ball going. And so this message is essentially about fear. And every human suffers from fear, okay? It's really important that everybody knows. Fear is not something that's unnormal, or fear is not something that's just meant for the weak, okay? Every person essentially experiences fear. It's an emotion that everyone gets the opportunity to really experience. So, just because you, again, have fear or you're fearful doesn't make you weird. It doesn't make you strange. It doesn't make you odd, and it definitely means that you are not going to be successful just because you have fear or you're fearful of something. Okay, again, everyone has fear. Fear is normal. So, for example, there's a bunch of different kind of things that people are nervous, or people that are kind of fearful of, right? So there's like xenophobia, which is the fear of the moon, if you guys anyone's familiar with that. And maybe you're scared or fearful of the moon. I don't personally understand it, but I'm not here to cast judgment. I'm just letting you know that fear is natural for people to have. There's fear of like xenophobia, if you guys are familiar with that. That's like the fear of knees, like people's kneecaps and whatnot. So again, like people are fearful of many different things. There's actually a phobia, I can't think of what it's called right now, but people are fearful of garlic, like the garlic that smells and whatnot. Okay, so lots of people are fearful. Fearful is innate in us, okay? What's not innate in us is essentially, conquering fear, right? And so that's what I want to talk about. As a kid, you kind of learn that the stove is hot by not touching it, and then you're kind of fearful of touching that hot stove. That's kind of experiential kind of fear. And then, you're nervous to touch it, or you're fearful to touch that. Okay, so my point to this is that fear of fear, or experiencing some particular sense of fear or hesitation or reservation, it doesn't make you a weak individual. It's a very normal thing, like I mentioned earlier. It's a physical and emotional experience of fear. Is everyone experiences fear. So, hey, LC, I can see you there. And I just want to drop this message because I'm talking to a lot of people that are fearful to join the academy, fearful to pick up the phone, and fearful to make a phone call. And what's amazing to me is that the people who push through that sense of hesitation, reservation, or just that sense of feeling, their sense of confidence and sense of emotions is completely different from 5 minutes ago when they were nervous to pick up the phone to where they're at right now when they pick up the phone and they make some phone calls and they actually see some results. So again, fear is normal, but you don't have to let fear control you. Growth and glory, it's just on the other side of fear. And when you push yourself past fear, you grow and you realize a new potential that was essentially already inside of you. And had you have conquered that fear earlier, then that gives you an opportunity to continue to keep growing. So the faster that you can conquer your fears, the faster that you can push through any sort of like sense of hesitation or sense of reservation, then the faster you're going to, well, fail, and then the faster you're going to succeed. And you'll see that what you were once scared of is actually nothing. And what you were scared of is actually yourself, making yourself nervous to conquer that fear. Again, that's something that's innate in us. Okay, so what's not innate in us is our ability to conquer fear. Okay, so whether you have hesitations in life in general, or whether you're fearful for joining our academy, or whether you've joined the academy but you're fearful just to get going, that's okay. Recognize the fear. It's important for you to recognize it. But what you don't want to do is to succumb to it. You don't want the fear to overtake you. You need to conquer the fear. Remember that you're the CEO of your own life, and you can't let anything, whether that's in a feeling, an emotion, or somebody external, hold you down. Okay? So it's up to you to push forward. It's up to you to recognize that fear. It's okay to be fearful, and then it's up to you to conquer that fear. So I want to leave you guys with that, because I don't want people to be fearful. I don't want them to be fearful to pick up the phone, because when you pick up the phone, you see results. When you have activity, that produces results. That's going to lead you to the finish line, to what ultimately to what your goal is. So make sure you're pushing through. Fear is only a bad thing when you let it control yourself. So go out there, you guys, and dominate, take control, conquer your fears, and we'll see you on your way to the top.